Sometimes oh, there we go. All right. The thing says we're live. Hey, Facebook, if you are seeing us right now, we see you, hopefully. I'm going to make sure. If you're watching the replay of this, you might want to fast forward about 30 seconds or so as me and my special guest today get this rolling here. Okay. Yep. It's showing up on my page, Antonio. If you want to grab it and share it onto yours, feel free.
Got it.
It's always important to make sure technology works. All right. I'm ready to dive in. This is a lot of fun. I've been on a hiatus the last couple of weeks, had a guest get sick. So here we are back in action. I can't remember. This is round 22 maybe of the Broker Showdown. Very, very excited as usual. And those of you, this is maybe the first time tuning in, don't even know what the Broker Showdown is. Let me tell you real quick before we have our guest introduce himself. The Broker Showdown is exactly that. I love featuring broker owners, leaders in the real estate industry who are doing big things, making things happen out there. And we'd love to feature them all across the United States and just pick their brain a little bit. The rules of the game, if there are rules, is that we each get 3 questions for each other. Neither of us have any clue what we're going to ask the next person. So I'm going to have 3 questions for Antonio. He's going to have 3 questions for me. We just go back and forth. Raw, real, sometimes edgy, and it's a lot of fun. So before I introduce who that guy am, let's have our special guest do the same. So before he does, I just got to tell you, I've been running with this guy for, I don't know, 2-3 years now, in so different capacities, different networks, groups. Epitome of a servant-driven leader. I mean, the dude will give you his shirt off the back, like not metaphorically speaking, literally speaking. And make no mistake, with his big smile and his kindness, dude's a beast. Like he is a doer. He soaks up information like a sponge and then applies it and expects the people in his orbit to do the same. Antonio's a guy that if you're in the room with him, he levels you up. You just can't be in a room with him and not have your energy level, your intelligence, your leadership rise as a result of it. So for that, I thank you as a friend and a business partner together, man. But tell the world who you are, Antonio. Give us your quick little introduction.
Well, first of all, I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to go back and clip it. I really love that. My name is Antonio Cousin. I am the broker and owner of Service First Real Estate. We are a full service real estate firm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but we also operate in New Orleans and anywhere in between. So basically Southeast Louisiana.
Nice. And tell us how many agents you have, how long you've been in the business, just any other background stuff.
So I don't really like to say my agents. I like to say the partners, the people that I partner with. So it's 25 of us total at the brokerage. And that's a mix between, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Hammond. We're all over.
Okay. Give us a quick glimpse of what's an idea of your goals, your vision that you have for this year? Just what are you guys striving for as a collective?
Oh, it's a collective. I thought you were going to ask me as an individual.
Or you too. That's okay too. That's fine.
Individually, I still sell. So I'm a competing broker. I'm on track actually to hit 45 for this year. Tomorrow will be number 11, so that'd be great. 11 in the first quarter, and usually a slow quarter for me. In addition to that, I've made the plan to increase my leverage. I've hired a TC, just to be able to go out there and get more production. So instead of me worrying about paperwork and scheduling showings, doing inspection responses, I just let her handle all that. So that's important to me. Another thing is it helps with compliance too. I have Ace. You met Ace before. Ace is the operations manager at the brokerage. He's something I've implemented this year. He's reviewing all the files up front, and then I come in on the back end. So that's, saving me some time. I don't have to go out there trying to review files. I hate that. That's the boring part of the work. And then for the brokerage, I'm trying to help each agent increase their average production. So something I've done this year, like I told you with the TC. In addition to that, I've given every agent access to the TC, and I'm splitting the cost. So basically it's at a fraction of the cost to them, so they can go out there and do more business.
Love it. Yeah. And I can speak, your partners, AKA agents, show up at a high level. Speed of the leader is the speed of the team, man. And because he shows up to all of our calls and soaks up the information, guess what? So does his agents, his partners, right?
There you go.
And shocking. And I'll throw, all right, if we're gonna get into that, I'm gonna throw one back at you. You use the word competing broker. Competing. Really? I mean, how about you're a participating broker? You're in the business, you're in the trench, you're day in the life of.
That's what I mean.
very relatable to the day-to-day struggles, right?
That's excuse me. That's exactly what I mean. I know it sounds worse saying competing, but what I meant by that is just, I'm out there selling as well. So I'm boots on the ground. So that's a good thing in my opinion, because then I fully understand what's happening. I'm in touch. I'm in tune with what's happening in the market.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
But I'm not going to say competing anymore. I'm going to say
I know. I got you. All right. Well, hey, great intro. And again, we're going to get rolling here. But before we do, real quick on my end, if this is our first time hanging out, you plug it in. My name's Jake, obviously, founder, CEO of The Locker Room, as well as I'm getting ready to launch something called the Coaches Brokerage, co-founder in the TLR Leadership and Coaching Academy. So all things leadership, growth, personal development, I'm about it. And on the Locker Room side, we help brokers like Antonio with all things related to growth, retention, productivity, and profitability. Those are the four main cornerstones. And so if you're a leader, broker, owner out there and need help in any one of those departments, myself, Antonio, and countless others are here to support you any way we can, right? So that's a little bit about me. And I hail from the beautiful state, cold state of Wisconsin. So Antonio's down south, Louisiana, and I'm just a straight shot north, basically. All right, man. Are you ready? You ready for my first question?
I'm ready. I'm sitting here drinking my mushroom coffee.
Yeah, you better. You're going to need it, man. I'm going to challenge. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. By the way, the goal here is not to stump each other. It's just to pull out wisdom and all that good stuff. So,
and look, before you go, so my camera's up here, but I'm looking at you on the screen down here. So that's why you see the up and down.
Okay. Right? I'm going to put you in the spotlight here in a minute after I shut up and ask my question. So
let's go.
We won't have to worry about that. Okay. Here's my very first question for you, man. Imagine this with me. So pretend I'm an agent. Jake here is an agent in your market, and I'm considering making a move. I'm already in production. I'm just, whatever has me exploring options.
Okay.
What would you say if you could give me essentially your condensed, unique value proposition as to why an agent like me should consider joining your brokerage, and do it, here's the caveat, without disparaging anybody else? And I know you're not even the type who would do that anyways. So that's my question.
Oh, all right. So I'll say this. My job as the broker is to, one, make your life easier, and two, make you more money. So I feel like I'm in the trenches here at Service First Real Estate. We have every single thing you could think of. All you have to do is come here and plug in. So I'm looking for someone that's coachable. They don't have to have the most production. Like that would be great if they did, but as long as they're coachable and they can come in and adapt to what we have going on. And when I say we have everything, I'm saying we have coaching, not just from me, but from the locker room. We also have a full marketing department. So anything you want social media, you just send a request in and it's done. I mentioned Ace earlier. Ace is the operations manager. Basically, any tech question you have, he's got you. So we have, I'm really into technology. So I'm always looking to adapt and get better. So I read a lot, and I'm always coming back and I'm pushing that information on to my partners in the brokerage. So, I mean, that's pretty much in a nutshell. But what I'm trying to say is we have everything. All you got to do is plug in and be coachable.
I love that. So here's where I just riff, man. So bear with me. I'm writing notes down when you speak. Let me recap what you just said. This is really important stuff. Number one, you said, we strive to have everything easy, and so that you can make more money, period. And that's what I love about Antonio. Like he just says what's on his mind, and you don't have to ever question where he stands on something. But then you rattled off a few things. Number one, somebody who's coachable, somebody who can adapt or be flexible. You offer, these are my words, not yours, almost like a done for you type of environment, type of model. Just plug in, and Ace and the team and other technologies are there where it can be done for you. It's plug and play with your systems, and you're very tech forward. And by the way, I was just sharing before the show, I have Plod, this AI thing on my phone. Well, who introduced me to Plod? Antonio. So he's on that cutting edge, willing to fail, willing to try stuff, and whatever works, he brings it back to the brokerage and all of his partners. Is that fair?
That's exactly. You got it exactly right. But what I will say is I don't pay for leads. I don't believe in buying leads. I believe in just nurturing and loving on your people. So your sphere of influence, the people that already know, like, and trust you, just nurturing them and loving on them. And I feel like that's how you get business. So if you're the type of agent that wants to come so that your broker can provide leads, this isn't the place. I've never done it in my 16 years, and I never plan on doing it. Like, I truly believe in building a business starts from the people that know, like, and trust you. Now,
So let's
nothing. Oh, go ahead.
no finish your,
I was
what
just
you
gonna
were
say, like, if that's what you do, if you buy leads, you know, more power to you. It's just not what I do.
and teach their own. Exactly. It's not the model, and you're clear of who you are, and you're clear of what you're not. And I got a lot of respect for that. Um, Follow-up questions are allowed. So here's a follow-up question to your response on the same topic. So I'm just naturally curious, like, how is that what you just described, culture, that ideal agent, an ideal environment, how is that shaped? What inspired you to be tech forward? What inspired you to want to create a system where things were done for your agents so it's easy and they can make more money? Like, what's the why behind that?
You just said it. I mean, it's easy and you can make more money. So if I feel like if I take care of everything up front, where you could just plug in, it's only going to help. You'll get your life back. You're not working all the time. And if you want, you can make more money. So I just feel like that's the cheat code. You know what I mean? So that's why I do it that way. Um, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know how much detail to go into it, but
No,
I just
I guess what I'm
that's my
trying to extract is there something that you lived, you went through as an agent yourself, and you said, you know what, I'm going to do something about this. I can make this better. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Like,
Yeah. So that's a great point. So before starting Service First in 2020, prior, I've been doing it 16 years. So prior to starting the company, I was with three other brokerages, two in Dallas and one in New Orleans. And when you're at other brokerages, you just see what works and what doesn't work. And I felt like I had seen everything I needed to see, and I knew where I wanted to go. So I've learned and I've grown through going to those other brokerages, and I just knew, I had something better. And I don't know. I guess you learn from your past, and I just knew going into it, I wanted to create something that's forward looking. I felt like some of the other brokerages I've been with in the past were not that, as far as technology. They were not that willing to adapt to technology. So I felt like, if I can do that, we're on the right path. So that's why.
perfect. I wasn't trying to like set you up, but like that's where I was trying to get. And for anybody listening, first of all, drop a comment below. Let us know what you just heard, or if you're sitting there relating, because what I interpret that is the lesson being all of us are just on this journey, man. We're just doing the best we can do in any given moment, making the next right decision that we know to make with the information we have. And so what I heard is Antonio used his lived experience, other brokerages, a lot of good, maybe some things he would have done differently, obviously, but he
Yeah.
used all of that when he decided to go into business for himself and launch his indie brokerage, saying, look, I'm going to take the best of what I've enjoyed myself and create what I wish there was but wasn't. And now that's your company in a
Yeah. And
nutshell.
then another thing I want to point out is, like, I have an abundance mindset when it comes to real estate. So if any of the agents has like something they will recommend or something they want to try out, I'm all for it and I'm all game. Like I would adapt it, as long as it makes sense and it's financially economical.
Yep.
So I felt like a lot of other places were not like that. Like they were, when you had an idea that you share with the team, they may get a little offensive, like, oh, is he trying to, steal my spot kind of thing. That's not me at all. I welcome it. I love the sharing of ideas, because I feel like everybody knows something about something. And if you can provide that to the team, you're just diversifying everybody's education.
Love it. Love it, man. All right. You passed. You got through the first question, but I got two
All right,
more for you. So
let's
your
go.
turn. Your turn to ask me one.
All right. So you coach a lot of brokerages or a lot of agents. What do you see as the single biggest challenge facing independent brokerages in the next 12 months?
Ooh. So based on what I see, what is the greatest challenge facing independent brokerages in the next 12 months? That's the
Yep.
question.
Independent. Yep.
Okay. My answer is going to actually have to do with my very first question to you. And let me give some context to this before I get rolling. So, by now is about 2 years ago, actually, Antonio, that I went on a fact finding mission. And I challenged myself to talk to 100 broker owners, largely independent broker owners, by the way, in 90 days. Those who were not actively affiliated with the locker room, by the way. Okay. I wanted outside of that. And it was basically one big research project, one big focus group per se. And I asked a series of questions. And one of the questions is the exact question I asked you. Okay. And that is basically, what is your unique value proposition? Well, 9.5 times out of 10, the answer I would get had something to do with, well, our caps are this, our fees are this, our splits, our revenue share, our profit share, and all these, our tech stack, even, which is great. I'm not saying those aren't valuable things, but that wasn't my question. My question was underscoring unique. What is your unique value proposition? Because if I wanted to go start a brokerage today based off what most people answered, I could clone it overnight. There's nothing unique about it. If I've got the budget and the resources, boom. Now what? So using that as the context of my response, it is this. I believe, especially looking ahead at the next 12 months, a lot of mergers and acquisitions, competitive landscape, agents getting out of the business, agents getting in the business. It's never ending, right? And recruiting out there can be an absolute bloodbath. So for independent brokerages specifically, I believe the number one challenge is them being able to gain a high degree of clarity and precision to be able to articulate exactly what their unique value proposition is and push their shoulders back and stand tall with it, not chasing their competition, trying to one up the Joneses, or, I need to discount and change my split just so I can compete in my marketplace. I think that is a race to the bottom. I know it is, actually. And I think this market is becoming more and more about value. People want strong leaders. If they're leaving you, it's probably a leadership problem, not a split problem. All right. And so I think if we can raise up the industry of independent broker owners, firsthand, you're in business with somebody like the Locker Room. You're not at a disadvantage at all. You are in many cases at an advantage because you're able to be nimble and have resources and partners like us to more than equip you with the training and coaching and platforms that all the bigger franchises have. And by the way, I've got a lot of friends at these bigger franchises, so I'm not knocking them, but your question was specifically about indie brokers. It's your ability to be very clear, very confident, and know how to articulate the why, the uniqueness, the value, and the problem that you bring a solution for the type of agent that you're seeking to attract. That would be my answer.
That's a great answer. That's a really great answer. You mentioned being nimble, and I actually value that.
Yes.
Like, for instance, we just changed our entire intranet. We used to use Thinkific as well as Trello.
Yep.
And then I went out and I talked with Scott Hack, and we built our own intranet. So now, like you said, be nimble, independent. I can do what I want. I don't have to go get approvals from regional and franchise. I don't have to do that. So we changed our whole thing. Now it's 100% ours. We can make changes as we need. So yeah, I like that. Good answer.
No, exactly right. Thank you. I see a lot, and by the way, I'm not against mergers and acquisitions. Like I said, disclaimer, I'm not against big box. I came from a big box kind of franchise. However, I see a lot of broker owners who are independent, like yourself. Times are tough. It's challenging. You're spinning a lot of plates. Leadership is hard. And they forget the reason they did this in the first place, and they sell their dream out. And they end up merging with one of these other franchise type opportunities just because they were in a weak season. Things got a little tough. Rather than working through it, hiring a coach and figuring it out, it's like, man, your dream is worth fighting for.
Right.
Don't let that independence, that autonomous go being autonomous go so easily. And so anyways, I could talk about that for days. Great question. Good. My answer 6 months from now would probably be entirely different, but you caught me in the moment, and that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay.
So PS, this is not a qualifying question, but if I don't know, tell the folks what your shirt means.
All right. So 43,560. It's something we have to learn in real estate school that we never even use. So I've got my license 16 years ago. Well, in 2 weeks makes 16 years. All right. And I had to know how many square feet were in an acre. It's 43,560. I've never used that information not once, but every single agent in the country has to know this for the test, for the national exam. I have never used this.
Kudos to Scott and Liz, because I think they designed that shirt, didn't they, for Distilled?
If you know, you know.
I know that, but I was like, all right, it says if you know, you know. Let's pretend our audience doesn't know. It's kind of this internal joke in the real estate world. It's like, come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
One of those
irrelevant facts.
Exactly. That's exactly. Okay, I'm ready for my next question to you. You good?
Yep.
All right, my next question. Well, I'm now going to take you into the future a little bit, but let's go. I don't go too far. Let's go 3 years out. So look 3 years into the future if you can.
Okay.
What advice would you give to real estate agents now as a leader, right? Your perspective. What advice would you give them now so that they remain relevant and at the center of the relationship and transaction well into the future? Translation, so AI and other technologies don't replace us. What would you say?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you have to adopt AI. I feel like AI is only getting better every single day. So if you're not adopting it and utilizing it to your advantage to gain some efficiencies and leverage, you're going to be behind. I actually just taught a class on this last Monday for agents across Louisiana. So that's one. Another one would be to try to become a real estate concierge. What I mean by that is for every single client you have, like always stay in flow with them and find out what do they need. Like you're the person that has the referral for the HVAC guy or the plumber or the electrician. Like always stay in contact with them so that way you're the person that they reach out to when they need a referral. So another thing I would say is just being consistent and staying in front of your audience online. Like I post every single day, especially on Instagram. Instagram is my platform of choice, but I post every single day. The stories multiple times a day. So I would just say stay relevant. But one last thing I thought about this morning, one of my clients, a set of clients, I sold them a house maybe 2 years ago, 3 years max. But anyway, I saw this morning on Facebook that they're expecting a baby. So hopefully they're not watching this, but I saw it and I went on Amazon immediately. I purchased the book that my wife swears by, with having a newborn, just how to help them with the sleep routine and things like that. And I sent it to them in the mail. They're not expecting that. All I did was I liked the comment. I loved it. And then I said, congratulations. So happy for y'all. Okay. In a couple of days, they're going to get a book in the mail. It has nothing to do about real estate. It's just loving on your people and taking care of your people. And I think that's how I get a lot of my business because I'm always staying in flow. As Ninja Selling, they talk about staying in flow with your people. And I feel like that's what I do. And that's why I get a lot of business directly from my sphere. So I know I say it a lot, but staying in flow with your people, adopting AI, don't run from it. You have to adopt it if you want to stay ahead. And then just being consistent and being like that concierge, that real estate concierge in your people's lives. That's what I would say.
That is so good. But it wasn't Maya Angelou. People don't remember what you say; they remember what.
How you made them feel.
Classic example. So here's what I wrote down: adopt AI. Right? Don't let AI replace you, but leverage and get to know and incorporate AI. I love the word concierge. Kind of like being a needs finder. Ask how can I serve you? What are your needs? What do you got? Any DIY projects going on? Be relevant in their life. Consistent on social media, I heard you say. And then finally, my words, not yours, but basically be human and deliver those +1 experiences like this couple that was probably not expecting a book from you, for example. It's just a little random act of kindness.
Add value. Always look for ways to add value.
There you go.
And that's how you stay relevant.
That's so good. So on the flip side, what would you say to agents who, for some reason, they're too stubborn, they don't believe you, they don't take this advice? Where do you predict agents that don't incorporate these things? Are they even in the business 3 years from now?
Damn, that was going to be my answer. I was going to say out of the business.
Sorry, I shouldn't leave you that way, but
I just don't see them succeeding. I don't. And I mean, the number. I don't know the numbers offhand, but you've seen it where so many agents got out of business last year.
Yep.
What it was 70-something% of agents didn't sell a house last year.
Crazy. Yeah.
So I feel like if you're not doing these things, you're not going to get any business. Eventually, you're going to get out of business.
So yeah, I think it was my college baseball coach, shout out Dusty Rhodes, would say something like about like in baseball, you got to adapt, you got to be able to pivot, you got to be able to change in real time with the game. Right. He would jokingly say something about that's exactly why the dinosaurs were extinct, is because they weren't willing to adapt.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure. So
you have to.
I love it. I love it. Don't go extinct, agents. And by the way, if you have a different opinion, a different answer, let Antonio and I know in the comment. What do you think is required of agents to remain relevant, to remain at the center of the relationship and transaction 3 years into the future? Let us hear from you. Tell us in the comments. All right.
Yeah. Look, man, I'll be honest. Maybe an hour and a half ago, I got a message from clients that I sold the house to 5 years ago. Now, I told you I stay in touch with my people. Now, I admit it. I did not stay in touch with them like I should have.
Yep.
I probably talked to them 3 times over the last 5 years. That's terrible.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I just so happened to send them a happy 5-year anniversary card. So that's why they were texting me, hey, we got your card. That was so thoughtful.
Right.
Just want to let you know we're considering moving and we want you to be our agent. Like, that's amazing, because I consistently send them cards, but I haven't talked to them that often in 5 years. 3 times max. That's the max.
Yep.
So that, I love to, when I get listings and I see that they bought the home through someone else, I ask them, why didn't you use that agent? And a lot of times they don't know the agent, meaning like the agent sold them the home and then they go away. I call that transactional.
Yeah.
They're not trying to build a relationship. They just want a commission. They sell you the house and you never hear from them again. That's terrible. That's why I feel like a lot of agents leave the business, because they're not building relationships. They're just treating everything like a transaction.
Dude, you're hitting on something big there. And I believe almost every year, I didn't look at last year's yet, but the NAR produces the report, right? And generally the number one most important thing from the consumer that they find valuable from their agent is communication. Hello. And some scary number, I think it's roughly, don't quote me exact, 87, 88% of people, when surveyed, said they would use their agent again. You did a good job. And yet something like 12% actually did.
That's right.
That delta, that gap, shame on us. To Antonio's point, now he got lucky, you did the right thing, but why do we do that? Well, because oftentimes you're chasing the commission. Where's the next deal? You got to put food on the table for your family. And we forget about the people we served a year, 2 years, 5 years ago, and continuing to stay in touch and relevant in their lives. So
that's why you got to have systems. I preach that at the brokers. You got to have systems in place. Otherwise, people like that will fall through the cracks. So I send them, keep in mind, I mail them every quarter. It's like an automated thing. I mail them like a little magazine with branded to me, but I also send them an anniversary card every time, a handwritten anniversary card. But if you don't have those systems in place, they can easily fall through the cracks, and then they'll just use the next agent that they come across when they have a real estate need.
That's right. Great advice. You guys write that down, and it's factually accurate as well per the statistics. So
So let me give you another question. So I want to go back to the broker stuff. So what do you believe that brokers get wrong when trying to grow their brokerage?
When you say grow, you mean
agent
recruiting?
Count. Agent count, yeah.
So what do broker owners do wrong when it comes to growth/recruiting?
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to tie into my first answer. I see far too often they approach recruiting, number one, if they recruit at all, because wrong in my opinion, because they approach it as a verbal vomit. Let me just tell you why we're so great. And they just rattle off feature, benefit, feature, benefit, feature, benefit. Well, unless you slow down and actually shut your yapper and ask me questions, the very person you're trying to recruit, maybe if I'm aligned, you don't know what's important to me. All you're doing is just information dumping, verbally vomiting all over me about crap that I probably don't care about. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is just one massive script. This is just one slide deck, literally or figuratively, that you're reading talking points from, and it feels inauthentic. There's no connection, not human, right? And just citing point after point after point, almost even insinuating that your current brokerage sucks, therefore you're crazy if you don't come here. And so my answer essentially is just attacking people before getting to understand really what makes them tick and what's important to them, what their challenges and potential solutions are that you can provide. Because then you're just playing matchmaker. And shameless plug, I wrote about this recently in my book. This is everything that I did and still do to this day for recruiting. Now, I'm not God's gift to recruiting, but if there's one thing I have a pretty dialed in system and degree of credentials and background for, it's recruiting. It's attraction. I know Antonio and Brian and others hate the word recruiting. So let's talk about that. He's laughing. I can see him in the backstage. If recruiting is a buzzword for you that creates a negative connotation, you've assigned some negative emotion or meaning to that word, you need to go internal and explore that. Because in one hand, we're telling agents, oh, you got to get out there and lead generate. You got to get out there and prospect. And yet on this, the broker equivalent to that is recruiting. So if that word disturbs you, I don't want to be a recruiter. I don't want to, okay, then don't, I guess. And I don't want you to be either. But there is a process of bringing value to the marketplace, getting relationships with the right agents that you authentically feel you can help and would be a great cultural fit. I don't know what you want to call it, attraction, but the process still gets you to the same place of meaningful and purposeful growth rather than just hiring anybody with a pulse and a license. So that's I think my long-winded response. I can go a lot of directions on that of where I think a lot of people go wrong with their growth.
Well, you're speaking to me for sure, because I don't recruit. Like I want to, but I don't want to. It's weird. I need to work on myself, because I just don't. I'll send a message like, hey, if you ever consider leaving, whatever, we're open to a conversation, and I leave it at that.
But here's the thing, Antonio, and I mean, they were just going off script for a second. We don't have a script, but
I know what you mean.
Anybody watching this right now, do you pick up from Antonio anything that feels like not genuine, just sales approach? He's growth at all costs. No freaking chance, dude. There's no way you could be that. Nothing out of your mouth would lead anybody that knows you and is willing to know you. But if I said, look, man, God gave you a gift. He gave you a gift of leadership, man. And he really did, I believe. And it's just extending opportunity to people that you don't know, maybe last night encountered some hardship, kneeling down at their bed, praying to God that an opportunity, a new environment, a new life would appear. And you're sitting there not calling that same person because you're judging, saying, there's no way they'd leave their brokerage. They're happy where they're at. But you've got you, because you are part of the unique value proposition story, Antonio. You've got concierge services, done for you solutions, plug and play, a tech forward environment, a culture where everybody wins, that you treat them like human so they feel seen, heard, and valued. I can go on, brother. And you mean to tell me you don't recruit? People need what you have. They just don't know about it.
Yeah, that's real. Damn, bro.
There's an obligation, a moral responsibility. I'm serious. This is,
I know.
Anybody that's done recruiting, I'd be lying to you if I didn't have this same little imposter thing going on in my head back in the day. But now I don't apologize for posting as often as I do about the locker room. I don't apologize shameless plugging a book, because I believe in my heart of hearts that my shit's good.
Yeah.
And I can help a lot of people. And it's on me if those people don't know about it. It's on them if they know about it, but for whatever reason decide it's not for them. But I'm not going to look back and say it was because I was unwilling. I wasn't willing to spread the gospel, because I believe I can help a lot of people.
Yeah.
It just becomes a moral thing rather than a duty or a task,
Right. No, I like that. Maybe I need to explore it a little more, but I guess the way I'm looking at it is more work for me, that I'm already stretched too thin. You see these gray hairs? Like I'm burning the midnight oil, man. I'm working at both ends.
But I hear that, but you're also a guy that you're very resourceful and you figure things out. You bring in leverage, you utilize technology. And maybe, just maybe, if a world existed that you didn't want to run so hard on your personal sales, that what if the brokerage production could more than replace that? Now time is the great equalizer. That's like, you have capacity if you want it.
Right.
Okay. So you and I can go back and forth. We don't need to do that on the show here. Sorry, everybody. Coaching moment. There's that.
And we got question number 3.
Question number 3 for you, my friend. Okay. So my last one is, looking back, is one of my favorite questions. Looking back and knowing what you know now, what mistakes, what pitfalls have you had to overcome during your journey? That's number 1. So think of an instance or two where you tripped up and got a bloody lip and fell flat on your face.
Okay.
But more importantly, from whatever you share, I want to know, what was the lesson? What'd you learn? How did it help shape who you are today?
Okay. Okay. So I told you earlier, I've been licensed since 2010. All right. From 2010 up until November of 2019, I was just winging it. I didn't treat it like a career. I want to one of the I guess the two pitfalls I would say is I didn't have a coach and I did not have a CRM. So in November of 2019, I decided to hire a coach. I didn't hire a coach prior to that because I felt like it was an expense. But I turned my mindset around and I started treating it like an investment. In addition, I had never had a CRM, so I used to write everything down on a piece of paper, on sticky notes, and I would lose it. There was no system in place at all. You can't physically remember every single thing. Like you don't have the capacity to do that. So getting the CRM in 2019 and hiring a coach changed my trajectory for sure. It went from I had never made more than $44,000 a year from 2010 to 2019 to 2020 making $235,000 and never look back. So I would say that the lesson was not looking at coaching or hiring a coach or spending money on a CRM as an expense and treating it like an investment because that was only going to help me going forward. So that was my two biggest things.
Dude, I'm sitting back here fist pumping and this was not a planned question nor a planned response. Okay.
Right.
Now, as a coach, I'm sitting there like, yeah, buddy, preach it. But my bias aside, I hope y'all just heard that. That was a paradigm shift, a perspective shift. He saw something that could be a line item expense, but rather held it to a standard of an investment. And anything you invest in, you should what? You should expect an ROI, correct? And what did you say it was one more time, 2019 to 2020?
So I had never made more than $44,000. Then in 2020, once I implemented all that, it went to 235 and never looked back.
So I don't even know what percentage increase that is. I could math that out real quick, but that's a lot of percents. That's insane. I never knew that about you. I'm learning this in real time. Wow.
Oh yeah. And I started treating it like a business. I didn't prior to that, I was just winging it. I had a full-time job all this time too as a bank examiner. So I was doing all that at the same time. I quit that job in December of 2021.
Now, how does that follow-up question? How does that now, your own lived experience, impact what you share or tell your agent partners?
Like I share my story. I'm trying to get them to fully adopt. Like, here's what I did, here's how I changed it, and here's where I'm going. You can see where I'm going. They see me posting all the time. They see my stats. And I'm just showing them like you have to fully buy in. That's why when we joined the locker room, like you see, a lot of us are participating, and I'm seeing results from those people that are participating.
Yeah,
we have a CRM. That CRM is fully. It has a lot of automation. It's a bunch of features and benefits, of course, but you have to be willing to put in the time to learn it in order to utilize it effectively. So we have all the tools. That's what I was mentioning earlier. Like we have everything. It's just a matter of plugging in and fully adapting to it, engaging in it, working it every day.
I say that all the time. Success, whatever that means to the person, is not your lack of success is not due to a lack of resources. It's due to a lack of resourcefulness. The opportunities, the tools, everything is there. The people, Antonio, myself, we're there. You just got to plug in. You got to use it. You got to ask for the help, man. No wonder, because when I was introducing Antonio earlier, one of my statements, I believe, compliments to him was you can't be in a room with him where he doesn't elevate you and those around him. This makes sense to me now because of that moment, 2019 to 2020, it sounds like was a very defining moment for you.
Yep.
And now you expect those around you to play at the same level that you play at. And I can vouch for you. You rarely, if ever, miss Zooms. You just got back from a conference. You attend our conferences. You make a point to getting in learning-based, growth-based rooms, literally and more metaphorically, because I think the conviction now lies in what you've seen it do for you over the years.
Yeah, and then I like to take the information and bring it back to the brokerage. So I use the plug device. I get all the summaries and I take it and I come back and share my information with the brokerage because we can all utilize the knowledge.
Good.
It's good to go to those conferences and read these books and get all this knowledge, but if you're not implementing it, it's a waste of everybody's time.
That's right. Yeah.
So
all right, bring it on. I think you got one more for me, right?
Yeah. So this one's gonna go to leadership. All right. Okay. So tell me about a leadership failure that has defined your coaching.
Shoot. A leadership failure that has defined my coaching or leadership, really. I gotta think about this for a second, man. That's a great question.
Did I stump you?
You kind of did, actually, because I want to give something juicy. I want to give it like a real answer here. Where did I screw up? Right, where a failure. Where did I
Like
screw up?
any leadership failure that's changed your trajectory now.
Oh, okay. I think I got something, but I can't use specific people's names, and you'll understand why, obviously. But I would say this recently occurred within the last couple 2 or 3 years, which is a long time frame, but not really in the growth journey. How should I say this? Who you're in business with matters. Statement 1. Know the difference of loyalty versus alignment, and I'll circle back to that in a minute. And don't forfeit standards. Just don't forfeit standards. Hold the line. Okay, hold the line. So real quick, see if I can remember my own things. So hold the line, standards. What else did I say? Alignment and who you're in business with matters, I believe. Okay. I got to write these down. So holding the line, quick story. So those of you that know me, I played college baseball, and our coaches made us players run every single morning in the off season after we had lifted weights. Now, mind you, we got up at 4:30, went to the gym, had to lift weights. So generally around 5:30, 6 o'clock is when we had to go out to the tennis courts and run. And what happened is, for every loss the previous season, the next season we had to run 25 5x5s for each loss. Well, what is a 5x5? Down, back, down, back, down is 1. So we had to run 25 of those, down, back, down, for every loss the prior season. That's a lot of running is the translation here. Well, part of the rules were you must sprint, no jogging, okay? And you must touch the baseline. Got to touch it. If your foot is an inch off, here's what happened. Coach sees it. He says, that's it. Stop. We start all over. One morning we were at, you can't make this up. We were at 24. And I swear to God, I don't know who player was, but coach saw one of my teammates not touch the line. Threw his arms up, yelled. We started over back at 0. So holding the line is my way of saying, or touching the line, holding standards. One of the areas of failure as a leader is I've brought people into my world. I've hired them, and I take ownership. They're not bad people. They weren't untalented people, but I didn't hold the line between standard and expectation that was agreed upon. And that just created not a culture that we were ultimately proud of. And that was my fault. So that's number 1. Number 2, alignment. A lot of people use the word loyalty. Well, how could you leave the company? I thought you were, what happened to the loyalty? I've been so loyal to you, right? A lot of, in the recruiting process, this comes up, this loyalty word. Loyalty is a very emotionally charged word. And I'll say that, or I'll ask this. If I said, well, what is the opposite of the word loyalty? What comes to mind? Well, a lot of you would answer disloyal or something like that. I'm going to use the word betrayal. The opposite of loyalty is betrayal. That's like serious stuff, man. So when an agent leaves a firm or leaves your company or something like that, and we're throwing around this loyalty word, I've learned that when people leave my ecosystem, they move on to do whatever it is they want to go do, that I don't see it. I don't take it so personal anymore. Now what I use instead is alignment versus misalignment. I hired this coach, I hired this staff member, whatever the situation was, and we were aligned. And after time, we became misaligned. That is less emotional, less of a personal attack, if you catch my drift here, than feeling like somebody was not loyal or betrayed me. Like, come on, really? People move on. We serve each seasons of life with each other. It's all good. And then finally, to sum it all up, who you're in business with matters. And again, I don't fault anybody. Every person that's ever had their DNA in the locker room, I'm incredibly grateful for. It's helped shape who we are today and where we're going tomorrow. So I don't have regrets about it, but I have learned. I'm very tight. For example, we interviewed, rather, Antonio. I'll bring you back on stage here, but we interviewed 6 people. We were just talking about it this morning. Interviewed 6 people in this first quarter of 2026 to be potential coaches. You know how many we've hired? None. None yet. Why? Holding the line. I'm done. I'm done hiring just to hire. I'm done growing just for growth's sakes. And here's my final comment to this long-winded answer is now we take, and forget, it's analogy, okay? We're using kind of like the Navy SEALs approach. I used to hire the Navy. I used to hire a bunch of generalists to be coaches at the locker room. I don't want that anymore, Antonio. Now, instead of 300,000 people who are part of the Navy, there's 3,000 people who call themselves Navy SEALs. Gotcha. I want the elite. I want the specialists. I want the assassins, man. So now when I'm hiring coaches, one of my very first questions to them is, what is your area of specialty? Gotcha. Is it AI? Is it recruiting? Is it brokerage optimization and systems? Give me something that you're known for and you have influence over, because I'm done hiring people that think they can just coach to all things and mindset and all. Great. I just need to know, what is your specialty that you do better than anybody? And if they can't answer that, we're not for each other.
Yeah. Makes sense. Those 5x5 sound like trash, though.
Oh, it sucked. Yeah.
I like your align versus misalign. I'm going to use that. Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, I've had agents leave our company too. One in particular, he's probably watching right now. He left to start his own brokerage. I have an abundance mindset. I was happy for him. I'm still happy for him. I was there to help him get it started. And in the past, when people would leave other brokerages that I've been a part of, they get mad because basically you're taking money out of their pocket at that point, you know?
Oh, I know well. That is real. That helps shape this similar thought process as you of abundance, for sure.
Abundance. You got to have that abundance mindset. So, but yeah, good answer, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for the questions, by the way. Really good questions today. So before we wrap, I got just rapid fire round, man. I love doing this. Just quick, simple, easy stuff, random stuff. So my first rapid fire round question for you is, favorite movie?
I don't really watch TV. I don't watch movies. I don't watch TV. All I do is work and family. That's it. But if I have to go favorite movie, I guess I'll say Coming to America. Classic.
Oh, that is a good one. Oh, that is a really good one. Yeah, that's funny. All right. Yeah. What is a unique talent or maybe a random just fun fact about yourself that not many people know about?
I'm an educational junkie. Like, I love education. I love knowledge. I listen to everything on 2X. I probably subscribe to like 70, 80 podcasts, and I listen to them all on 2X. I watch YouTube on 2X. I watch courses on 2X. Everything is 2X.
That's why you're not watching movies and crap. You're feeding your soul with good stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Tell me favorite vacation and why.
All right. So that one's easy. So there's this place called Hotel Xcaret. Xcaret. Is in Mexico. It's Playa del Carmen, Mexico. It's like an hour from Cancun. I'm going there actually in June of this year, but I went in 2022. Best experience I ever had in my life. Everything's included, all the excursions. It's a great place, man. You can eat off the floor. Like, it's clean. It was amazing. I love that place.
You know, JR, if you're watching, JR swears by that place. He loves going there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm going there in 2 months, 3 months, whenever it is, in June.
Cool. Yes. Take us with you, please.
Yeah.
I got one last one, man. We'll wrap. Is there any just quick real estate blooper, something funny that happened to you? Maybe it was during a showing. Who knows? Just any real estate blooper.
Well, I wouldn't call it a blooper, but I was showing a house once. It was a tenant occupied house. So the owner had tenants in there and they knew we were coming, but for whatever reason, they didn't leave. And they were under the covers on the bed. Like, it was so awkward, so weird. Like, so I couldn't see their faces or anything, but they were under the blanket, under the comforter. But it was moving. It was so weird. We didn't stay that long at all. It was uncomfortable.
That's hilarious. So yeah. There's some war story, just you're in this business long enough. People running some funky stuff. But man, this was so good. Thank you for your time, for your willingness to share and pour into anybody who's watching this, man. So let's do this one last thing. If somebody wanted to reach out to you, what's your website? Heck, if I'm an agent in your market area seeing this right now, and maybe I want to have a conversation with you, what's the best way people can reach out?
So you can go to my website is antoniocousin.com, but the easiest way to reach out would just be calling my cell phone 504-220-7297. That's 504-220-7297. I'm really active on Instagram, Cousin Sales LA, Cousin Sales LA. So if you can't reach me by the phone or you're scared to pick up the phone, you can send me a DM on Instagram, Cousin Sales LA.
Perfect. Plenty of opportunities. And by the way, don't make the same mistake I did. It's cousin, not cousins. AntonioCousin.com. There you go.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for being who you are and what you represent. It's a breath of fresh air, and we'll do this again sometime, man. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I'm glad you just said that. I'm about to go buy that domain, Cousins, and I'll just redirect it.
Ooh, oh, you might want to. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good for something. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Not a bad idea. All right, everybody. Hey, if you got something of value, leave my man some love here. Let us know in the comments what you heard, what you liked. Any other difference of opinions, we'll take it all. All right. So until next time, Broker Showdown number, I don't even know, 22 or something like that. Over and out. That's a wrap. Thanks again.
Appreciate you.